The stars outside the window of the salvaged ship Wayfarer 9 blinked like tiny cold eyes. Captain Rin Keller leaned forward in his seat, frowning at the blinking red light on the control panel. The ship had just picked up something strange. Impossible. Is that a distress call? Asked Mira, the ship's comms officer. Her voice was calm, but there was a hint of worry underneath. Rin shook his head slowly. It's not in any known language, not human, not alien. The signal is ancient. Jocks, the ship's engineer, scratched his beard. Could be old tech junk. Just echo garbage from a dying satellite. But Rin didn't believe that. Something about the pulse felt alive, steady, intelligent, like it wanted to be found. Where's it coming from? He asked. Mira tapped on her screen. Sector 31G, there's a dead planet there. No known colonies, no record of life. Rin narrowed his eyes, set course. Let's find out who's whispering in the dark. The planet didn't look special. Gray rocks, frozen ground. A cracked moon hanging low in the sky. The place looked like it hadn't been touched for thousands of years. The Wayfarer 9 landed with a soft hiss. The crew stepped out wearing light armor and breath masks. Cold wind howled around them. But it wasn't just cold, it felt heavy, like the air remembered something. Over here, Jocks called, kneeling beside a pile of dark stone. The crew gathered around. The stone wasn't natural. It had been carved, ancient symbols etched deep into its surface. Mira wiped the dust off one piece and froze. Rin, she whispered, this is Greek. That's impossible, Jocks said. This is light years from Earth. Rin stared at the symbols. She was right. The shapes were old, but clear, Greek, and next to them were markings from other ancient Earth languages, Sumerian, Sanskrit, even Old Chinese. None of them belonged here. Someone's been here before us, Rin said quietly. Long before. They found more ruins as they moved across the valley. Broken towers, half-buried machines, doors sealed by invisible force fields. Inside one chamber, a strange device sat on a pedestal, round and metallic, with glowing lines across its surface. Mira touched it. The device lit up. A low hum filled the air. Then a voice echoed in their minds. Not through speakers. Inside their heads. You have awakened the key. The path will open to those who remember. The crew backed away, stunned. What the hell was that? Jocks whispered, his face pale. Telepathic tech, Mira said, her voice shaking. I've only heard of it in theory. This stuff is beyond anything the Council has. Rin stared at the glowing device. This wasn't built by aliens. This is human. Back on the ship, they reviewed the scans. The metal was ancient, but it matched Earth-based alloys. The structure designs were similar to old human cities, but older. Much older. This place has been dead for over 100,000 years, Mira said. Long before humans were even supposed to be spacefaring. Jocks looked around nervously. You're saying humans had a space empire before our history even began? Rin nodded slowly. Something happened. Something the Council never told us. Suddenly, the ship's alarms rang. Motion detected. Mira shouted, something's out there moving fast. The crew ran to the window. In the distance, dark shapes moved between the rocks. They weren't machines. They weren't aliens. They were humanoid. Are they alive? Jocks asked. No life signs, Mira said. They're constructs, old, powered by something we don't understand. The shapes stopped. One turned its head slowly toward the ship. Then they vanished, fading like smoke. They're not attacking, Rin said. They're guarding. Guarding. What? Myra whispered. Ryn looked out across the planet. The ruins, the ancient writing. The device, our past. That night, Rin couldn't sleep. He walked alone through the ruins with only a small torch. He stopped at the glowing device again. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. When he touched it, he saw a vision. He stood in a great hall, stars shining. Above, men and women in glowing robes stood around a floating sphere. Machines shaped like animals moved beside them. One of the figures turned toward him. Her eyes burned like suns. "You are late," she said. "The cycle begins again." Rin gasped and pulled his hand back. The vision vanished. He was alone again, but he wasn't the same Dot the next morning. Mira found him staring at a wall. "You okay?" she asked. "They were tech mages," he said quietly. "Humans, engineers, scientists, warriors. They built things using science. And something else, something we forgot. Magic?" Jack said behind them, half joking. "Maybe," Rin said. "Or something like it." He turned to the team. "We have to bring this back. The council must know." Mira frowned. "What if the council already knows? What if they're hiding it?" Rin thought about that. "Then we're not just salvagers anymore. We're messengers." Before anyone could reply, the ship's warning lights flared red. "Incoming ship," Mira shouted. "No ID code, not from any known species." Jax ran to the weapons console. "They're powering weapons." Rin didn't hesitate. "Launch now. We can't let them take this." The Wayfarer 9 roared off the surface just as energy beams scorched the ground behind them. The enemy ship followed, but the Wayfarer was faster. Rin pushed the engines to the limit, dodging through asteroid fields and radio static. When they finally lost the pursuers, Mira turned to him, pale but smiling. "We still have the device." "And the data," Rin nodded. "This is just the beginning." Back in the dark ruins, the old machines hummed quietly. The Guardians stood still once more. In the deep chamber beneath the planet's surface, something else woke up. A machine shaped like a throne. A recording blinked to life. "The key has been touched. The bloodline lives." And far away, in the heart of the galaxy, members of the Galactic Council received a hidden alert. One of them stood, his face grim. "They found it," he said. "Then it begins again," another whispered. "The age of the mages." The planet below looked like a dead rock, silent and broken. But Captain Rin Keller knew better now. After the signal and the strange visions, this place was no longer just another mystery. It was a warning and maybe a key to something much bigger. Inside the Wayfarer 9, the crew sat around the glowing device they had recovered from the ruins. "It's still active," Mira said, keeping her eyes on the pulse of soft blue light. "Whatever it is, it doesn't want to shut down." Rin leaned forward. "Can we get a scan inside it?" Jack shook his head. "It's sealed, like it's protected by something I've never seen. The metal isn't any alloy we know, and the energy, it's alive somehow." Mira looked nervous. "It spoke to us, or to our minds." "That's not normal tech, Rin." "It's not tech," Rin said quietly. "It's something older, something different." They stared at the device in silence. Finally, Rin stood. "We need to explore the other side of the valley. Those towers we saw, they might have answers." The ruins were bigger than they looked from the air. Stone walls stretched for miles, buried under sand and ash. Strange black pillars stood in rows, humming when anyone got too close. "What are these things?" Jax asked, running a scanner. "Over 1. Markers," Mira said, tracing the carvings. "They're written in Earth languages again." "This one says Vault of Memory," Rin frowned. "Earth languages? Out here?" She nodded. "Greek, again. And this one here is from ancient Babylon." They moved deeper into the ruins. The air grew still and heavy, like the world was holding its breath. Rin stopped in front of a giant door half buried under stone. "This is it," he said. "This place wasn't built by aliens. It was made by us. Long before we knew we had the stars." They cleared the stone and opened the door. Inside was a chamber so large their lights barely touched the ceiling. The walls were covered in glowing lines, circles, spirals, and symbols that seemed to move when no one was looking directly at them. In the center stood a machine like a throne, surrounded by floating crystals. As they stepped inside, the lights flickered. The crystals rose into the air, spinning around the machine. Then, a projection formed above it, a human figure cloaked in dark robes, face hidden in shadow. "If you see this," the voice echoed, "then the seal has broken. The stars are changing, and the memory must return." Rin froze. That voice, it feels familiar. The projection continued. "We were called the Tech Mages. Once we ruled across the stars, not with war, but with knowledge. With energy, with thought," Myra whispered. "Tech Mages. That's what the vision called them." "But we went too far," the voice said. "We bent time, space, and even death. So we sealed ourselves away, and we erased the memory from your minds, from Earth, from all worlds." The projection faded. Silence filled the room. Jock stepped back. "You're telling me humans had this kind of power, and then just vanished?" Mira turned to Rin. "It makes no sense. Why forget? Why bury all this?" Rin stared at the throne. "Maybe someone wanted to protect the future. Or maybe someone else wanted us weak." Suddenly, the floor beneath them shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. A deep hum echoed through the ground. "They know we're here," Mira said. "Who?" Jock asked. Rin didn't answer. He ran toward the throne and touched the center. The crystals stopped spinning. The air grew silent. Then, the wall behind the throne slid open, revealing a staircase that led down deep underground. "We need to go," Rin said. "This is just the surface. The real secret is below." The stairs seemed endless, carved from stone but lined with glowing lines like wires. As they moved deeper, they felt the air grow warmer. The sound of machines grew louder. Finally, they stepped into another chamber. This one was smaller but filled with rows of machines shaped like coffins. "Cryopods?" Jock asked. Myra walked slowly to one and wiped away the dust. Inside was a human. Pale skin, still, sleeping. "They're not dead," she whispered. "They're alive." Rin moved from pod to pod. Dozens of them. Maybe hundreds. "These are the Tech Mages," he said. "They didn't vanish. They went to sleep." Behind them, the machine on the wall blinked to life. "DNA match confirmed. Awakening sequence begins," Mira gasped. "Rin, you activated them." "I didn't mean to," he said, stepping back. "It reacted to my touch. Like I have something. They know." The pods began to glow. And somewhere above, another tremor shook the ruins. JX single quotes, Escom crackled. "Captain, something's coming. You need to get back now." "Who is it?" Rin asked. "Alien ship. Council type. Military class. They're landing fast." Myra's face went pale. "They followed us." Rin turned to the others. "Grab what you can. We're not leaving empty-handed." They raced back up the stairs. The light from above was no longer gray, it was red. Flames burned across the valley. The alien ship had landed and was sending drones into the ruins. Rin fired at one. It exploded in a flash of metal and sparks. "Run!" he shouted. The crew ran toward the Wayfarer, dodging drones and beams of light. Mira was hit in the leg but kept moving. Jock helped her. They reached the ship, sealed the doors, and launched. The alien ship tried to follow, but the ruins below pulsed once with bright white light. The ground shook. And then the alien ship simply vanished, erased like a shadow under sunlight. "What just happened?" Jock asked. Mira stared at the sensors. The ruins activated something. A defense system. Rin leaned back in his seat. "They're still protecting their secret, even now." Hours later, in deep space, Rin sat alone with the device. The same voice echoed in his mind again. "You are the key. You carry the spark." The mages will rise when the stars forget. And you, child of Earth, will lead them. He didn't understand it fully. But he knew this was no longer just about ruins or lost history. It was about a return, a rebirth, and a fight that had been waiting for thousands of years. He looked out the window at the stars. Let's see what secrets you're still hiding. The Wayfarer 9 moved silently through the black sea of stars, its engines low and quiet. Inside, the crew sat in tense silence. The strange device they had taken from the ruins now rested in the center of the control room. Its soft blue glow pulsed like a slow heartbeat. Captain Rin Keller stood still, staring at it. "I think it's watching us," Jock said, not taking his eyes off the machine. "Machines don't watch," Mira replied, though her voice was unsure. "They follow commands, they respond. They don single quotes T.think. This one does," Rin said. "It's alive. In some way." He reached out and placed his hand on the top of the device. The glow brightened. Everyone in the room heard the hum. Then, without warning, the lights in. The ship dimmed. A quiet voice spoke, not aloud, but inside their minds. "Child of the forgotten blood, the path begins. Do you accept?" Rin felt a jolt in his head. Visions flashed: stars being born, cities rising, machines floating in the air, and people dressed in long robes, walking through beams of light. All of it felt real, as if he had lived it long ago. I don't understand," he whispered. "You don't need to," the voice answered. "Only awaken." The device shook once. Then it cracked open. From inside, a small orb rose, floating in the air. Lines of light stretched around it like a web. It spun slowly, releasing soft waves of energy across the room. "What is that thing?" Jax asked, stepping back. "It's a memory core," Mira said. "I've seen something like it in old Terran research, but nothing this advanced. It's filled with data, and something else." The orb floated closer to Rin. It hovered in front of his chest, then sank into his skin. "Rin!" Mira shouted. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. Inside his mind, he wasn't on the ship anymore. He stood on a high tower, looking down on a glowing city of glass and metal. Ships moved through the sky like birds. At the center stood a temple, wide and tall, filled with light and humming energy. Around him were people, humans, dressed in white and gold armor. Their eyes shone with power. "Welcome back, Keeper of Flame," one of them said. And that all vanished. When Rin woke up, he was in the med bay. Mira sat beside him. "You passed out for 3 hours," she said. The orb disappeared. "Your body temperature spiked, and your brain waves, they changed." Rin sat up slowly. "I saw things. I saw who they were. The tech mages weren't just scientists. They weren't just rulers. They were protectors." Mira looked at him closely. "You're different, Rin. The scans show it. Your brain is firing faster. Your DNA changed." He didn't respond. He simply reached out, and the lights in the room dimmed again. "Did you do that?" she whispered. He looked down at his hand. "I didn't try to." Later, Rin called the crew together. "The device is part of something larger," he told them. "It's connected to more ruins, more machines across the galaxy. And I think I've unlocked part of the map." Mira pulled up a star chart. "There's a location here," she said, pointing. "Another dead system, but this one shows ancient power signals. A pulse like the one we found here." "Let's head there," Rin said. "We need to understand what's waking up." As the ship turned and began its new journey, none of them saw the silent alert triggered deep in a hidden part of the galaxy. A signal blinked to life on a distant Council warship. Tech Mage artifact activated. Human vessel identified. Terminate immediately. 2 days later, Wayfarer 9 arrived at a moon orbiting a dead gas giant. On the surface stood a tower of black stone taller than anything they had seen before. It reached into the clouds like a sword piercing the sky. They landed near it and stepped outside. The tower vibrated with quiet energy, and the ground beneath them felt warm, alive. Inside, the tower was hollow. In the center, another throne-like machine waited. This one had a smooth bowl of light at its top. "I know what to do," Rin said. He stepped forward and placed his hand inside the bowl. The machine responded instantly. The tower lit up. The ground shook. Ancient circuits awakened with golden light. Then, a voice echoed through the room. Not in their minds this time, but out loud. "Initiating protocol. Awakening device 2 of 9. Mira stared at Rin. 9? There are 9 of these towers? They're part of a network, Rin said. Each one holds memory, knowledge, power. What happens when you awaken all of them? Jax asked. Before Rin could answer, the tower's lights turned red. An outside camera feed blinked on. 3 Council ships had appeared in orbit. They found us, Mira said, fear rising in her voice. Rin stayed calm. No, we were meant to be found. He turned to the throne and spoke clearly. Defense protocol activate. The tower responded with a low hum. Giant metal spikes rose from the ground around it. Energy shields formed in layers. From the top of the tower, a beam of white light shot upward, striking one of the council ships. It didn't explode. It vanished. Holy stars, Jax breathed. Where did it go? I don't know, Rin said. But it's gone. The other 2 ships began retreating. Mira watched the screen. They're afraid. They should be, Rin said. Because this is just the beginning. Back on the ship, the crew sat in silence, trying to process what they had just seen. The tower behind them glowed like a new star. Mira finally broke the silence. You've changed, Rin. You're not just our captain anymore. I'm still me, he said. But now you carry something ancient. Something powerful. I didn't choose this, he said softly. But now I have a duty to finish what they started. He turned to the screen, where the star map showed 8 more blinking points of light, each one waiting to be found. As the Wayfarer 9 powered up its engines and rose from the moon's surface, Rin spoke quietly, more to himself than anyone else. They wanted the world to forget, but I will make them remember. Far away from the Wayfarer 9, on a hidden space station buried deep within a red nebula, the Galactic Council gathered in a dark chamber. 12 seats, 12 species, each one old, powerful, and afraid. A large hologram floated in the center. It showed the black tower Rin had awakened, the bright energy beam shooting into the sky. The human ship escaping after destroying a council vessel. They've reactivated another one, said Councillor Trag, a scaled creature from the Varn Dominion. The second tower is online. That makes 2. Councillor Cora of the Alari Alliance leaned forward. Her eyes glowed blue. And the same human again, this Rin Keller. He now carries the signal. An old gray-furred member growled low. We said this would never happen. We erased their history. We buried their bloodlines. We promised it was over. Cora nodded. It was never over. The tech mages planned this. They hid their keys in the humans, in their DNA. And now, Trag said, voice cold, they're waking up. The room fell silent. Finally, the Supreme Speaker stood. His long robe shimmered in the dark. It's time the truth was told, he said. Not to the people, but to ourselves, because we've lied for too long. On the Wayfarer 9, the crew was still shaken from the battle at the second tower. The weapon that had erased a ship with one strike had left them all stunned. Mira sat at her station, her face pale. We've got transmissions coming in, from across the galaxy. What kind of transmissions? Rin asked. Fear, she said. Rumors. People saying humans have found ancient powers. Council ships destroyed by strange tech. Old myths are spreading like wildfire, Jocks frowned. And the council? What are they saying? They're quiet, Mira replied. Too quiet. Rin stood up. That means they're hiding something. And I think I know where we'll find the truth. He pulled up the star map. A red zone blinked classified council territory. No travel allowed, no records available. There's a vault here, Rin said. I saw it in my vision after the second tower. A memory storage site. One the mages built. One the council found. And kept secret, Jock sighed. We go there, we're dead if they catch us. Rin looked at him. They already want us dead. Might as well find out why. The vault was hidden on a small icy moon. From orbit, it looked like nothing more than rock and snow. But when Wayfarer 9 landed, the truth showed itself. Black metal doors sat half buried under frost. They opened. The moment Rin stepped near them. That's starting to get creepy. Jocks muttered. Means we're on the right path. Rin said. They entered the vault. Inside was a chamber filled with thousands of glowing cubes, data units older than any human tech. A large terminal stood in the center. Rin placed his hand on it. The terminal lit up. A voice spoke, emotionless but clear. Welcome, Guardian. Archive unlocked? Begin playback? Yes, Rin said. A hologram filled the room. It showed Earth green. Wild, untouched. Then it showed cities rising. Not the ones from history books. These were older, more advanced. Towers of light. Machines floating without fuel. People flying without ships. Then came the war. Dark skies. Ships exploding, planets burning, the tech mages fighting. Other humans. Twisted ones. Changed ones. They were called the Fractured. They fought themselves, Mira whispered. No. Rin said. They fought what they had become. The tech mages tried to control everything. Time, thought, even life itself. And it broke them. The hologram showed the final battle. A planet torn apart by energy. A decision made, the Great Seal, the voice said. To protect life, the mages erased their empire, buried their knowledge, hid their memory in human bloodlines. The council was formed from survivors. The image shifted. It now showed the council leaders, much younger, standing around a group of frozen tech mage cores. They feared the power, the voice continued, so they made a deal. If the mages ever rose again, the council would destroy them. And the humans, the room went silent. Mira stepped back. They knew all along. The council didn't just lie to others, they lied to us. They made us believe humans were weak, Rin said. Unimportant, primitive. Jocks clenched his fists. They feared us because they knew what we used to be. Suddenly, alarms flared inside the vault. They found us, Mira said. Council ships incoming, fast. Rin looked at the terminal. Download everything. We take the truth with us. Jocks inserted a chip and copied the files. The ground shook. The vault lights flickered. They're trying to collapse the moon, Mira shouted. Move! Rin yelled. They ran through the halls as the walls cracked and ice fell. Explosions rocked the tunnels. Just as they reached the exit, a blast threw them off their feet. Rin rolled and grabbed Mira's arm. Get to the ship. They climbed aboard Wayfarer 9 just as the moon began to crack in half. Punch it, Jocks! Rin shouted. The engines roared. The ship shot into space, leaving behind a moon now splitting apart like a cracked egg. They escaped. Barely. Later, as they floated in deep space, Mira sat in silence, staring at the screen. They tried to erase it all, burn the truth. But we have it now, Rin nodded, and we'll show it to everyone. Jocks looked uneasy. That'll make us targets. The whole galaxy will come for us. Rin looked at the glowing cube in his hand. Good, let them come. It's time they remembered what humans really are. He stood, facing the stars. They tried to bury us under their lies. But they forgot one thing. What? Mira asked. Rin smiled slightly. You can't bury fire. The Wayfarer 9 drifted through a dark corner of space, hidden behind a cluster of dead stars. Inside the ship, the crew was silent. The truth they had uncovered from the vault still echoed in their minds. Humans were once rulers of the stars. Tech mages, builders, destroyers, and the Galactic Council had buried it all. Rin Keller sat alone in the medbay, staring at his hand. Since the last tower awakened, something inside him had changed. He could feel energy humming under his skin. Like a storm waiting to break free, Mira entered the room with a datapad in her hand. Her face was tight with focus. I've finished the scans, she said. Rin looked up. And you're not just human anymore, she said, sitting beside him. Or maybe you're more human than any of us ever were. He raised an eyebrow. What does that mean? Mira took a breath. Your DNA has changed. Remember the memory core that entered your body? It didn't just show you visions, it activated something. Hidden code, layers of genetic material that were locked away. Until now, Rin leaned forward. You mean like a switch? Yes, she said. A genetic key. Placed in your bloodline. Thousands of years ago. Not just in you, but in others too, scattered across Earth. Others like me? She nodded. But you're the first one it chose. The first one to awaken. Rin stood up, running a hand through his hair. Why me? Mira hesitated. I think your family might be direct descendants of the last tech mages, leaders, maybe even royal bloodlines. Whatever they did, they made sure their legacy would survive through the blood. Jax entered the room, looking serious. We've got a problem, a big one. What now? Rin asked. Jax tossed a tablet onto the table. A video played a broadcast from one of the free networks not controlled by the Council. A shaky voice spoke over footage of Council fleets moving toward Earth. They're calling it Operation Containment, Jax said. They're claiming Earth has become a threat to galactic peace. They're preparing to blockade the planet. They're afraid others will awaken, Myra said quietly. Exactly, Rin replied. They know if Earth learns the truth. They can't control us anymore. Jax crossed his arms. So what do? We can't fight a full fleet. Rin looked at the glowing cube in his hand, the copy of the data from the vault. We don't fight, he said. Not yet. First, we find the others. Mira tilted her head. Others like you? Yes, Rin nodded. If I carry this code, then someone else does too. If we find them, we can awaken them. And we'll have more than just weapons, we'll have tech mages. Their next destination was a forgotten space station near an abandoned mining colony. According to the archive data, a scientist named Dr. Kalin once studied strange DNA patterns in early human colonists. His files had been erased from public records, but a hidden copy had survived in the Mage Vault. The Wayfarer 9 docked silently. The station was old, dark, and nearly dead. Life signs? Rin asked. Just one, Mira replied. Deep in the lab sector. They moved through dusty halls until they found the lab door. It creaked open slowly. Inside, a thin old man sat by a terminal, typing slowly with metal fingers. He looked up and froze. You shouldn't be here, he said. We're not here to hurt you, Rin said calmly. We're here for answers. The man narrowed his eyes. You're the one they're hunting. The human with the eyes of flame. Rin stepped closer. You know about the DNA code. I know more than that, the man said, standing slowly. I helped bury it. I was young when the Council gave the order. I was told humans had to remain ignorant. That it was for peace. Mira stepped forward. But you kept your data. You hid it. The man nodded. I always knew the truth would return one day. You are the spark, Rin Keller. You are proof that the mages were not myths. Can you help us? Rin asked. Can you find more? The old scientist walked to a machine and powered it up. Lights flickered to life. I saved. The original map, he said. The code markers are in the DNA. They show a path, a chain. Follow one, and it will lead to the next. The screen lit up with glowing points across the galaxy. There, the man pointed. One is on Earth, hidden. The others are scattered. Some have already been taken by the Council. Rin stared at the map. Then we start the chain. Later, aboard the ship, Rin stared at his reflection. His eyes had changed brighter, sharper. He could sense power moving through him, not magic, not tech. Something deeper. JAX entered the room. I've got the course set, he said. First marker is on a moon colony near Titan. Quiet place. No Council ships in the area. Rin nodded. We'll go fast, quiet. Wake them before the Council does. Jax hesitated. And after that, we return to Earth. You think they'll believe us? Rin looked serious. Not at first. But once they see what we found, they won't have a choice. Elsewhere, deep in Council space, the Supreme Speaker watched Rin's path unfold on a black screen. He's unlocking the bloodline, one general said, and soon others will follow. Another added. The speaker didn't blink. Then we release the Shadow Fleet. One of the Council members gasped. You swore we would never use them again. If the mages rise, the speaker said coldly, then we end the bloodline, this time. Completely. The Wayfarer 9 flew silently above the rocky surface of the Titan moon colony. It was cold, empty, and full of secrets. According to Dr. Callan's map, the next awakening was here beneath the ice, inside an ancient structure buried deep in the moon's crust. Rin stood in the ship's armory, staring at a black box they had recovered from the last hidden cache. The box vibrated softly, almost like it was breathing. This is it, Mira said, stepping beside him. The first mage weapon. It doesn't look like a weapon, Jax muttered, leaning against the wall. That's the point, Mira replied. The mages didn't fight with guns. Their weapons were bound to them living machines, powered by will, thought, and energy. Rin took a breath. Then it's time to see if I can control it. He placed his hand on the box. A shock of heat spread through his arm, and the black shell cracked open like an egg. Inside was a metallic band, glowing faintly blue, humming with old power. He picked it up. It felt heavy and weightless at the same time. Is it safe? Jax asked. Rin didn't answer. The band wrapped around his wrist on its own, locking in place. His vision blurred for a second, and strange images flashed before his eyes, memories that weren't his. A battlefield. Mages standing side by side, enemies falling like dust. Then a great silence. Rin gasped and pulled back. What did? You see? Myra asked. A war, he whispered. A terrible one. And this thing destroyed entire fleets. Let's hope you don't have to use it today, Jax said grimly. But Jax was wrong. They descended into the moon's crust, guided by the signals from the DNA beacon. The tunnels were tight, frozen, and filled with ancient ruins. Strange symbols glowed on the walls as they passed tech mage writing that pulsed softly at Rin's presence. It's reacting to you, Mira said. The place remembers, he replied. It knows who I am. After 2 hours of slow movement, they entered a wide chamber. In the center, a large pillar of crystal rose from the ground. Inside it floated a small metal sphere. That's the beacon, Mira said. JAX stepped forward. Let's get it and get out. I don't like. A loud hum echoed through the cave. From the shadows, mechanical forms rose. Old machines, guardians built by the mages to protect their secrets. But their programming was old, and they didn't recognize friend from enemy. Defensive systems online. A voice rang out in a dead cold tone. The first machine fired. Rin raised his arm by instinct. The band on his wrist glowed, and a wide shield of light formed in front of him. The laser bounced off harmlessly. Myra's eyes widened. You activated it. More shots came. Jocks ducked behind a rock, returning fire. Mira moved fast, trying to find cover, but there were too many of them. Rin focused. He didn't think he let the band guide him. Energy built up in his palm. A long spear-like shape formed from light. Humming with power, he launched it. The blast tore through two machines instantly. The others stopped for half a second, confused. Another shot came this time from the machine above. Rin twisted his hand, and a wave of force spread out from him. Machines were thrown against the walls like toys. Silence fell. Smoke hung in the air. Sparks flickered from broken metal. Jocks peeked out. You just took down 6 war drones in under 30 seconds. I didn't even know what I was doing, Rin said, breathing hard. It felt natural. Mira stared at him. That weapon isn't just a tool, it's a part of you now. Rin walked to the beacon and touched the crystal. It melted away with a soft sound, and the metal sphere floated to him. He caught it gently. A voice whispered in his mind. Second chain unlocked. What did it say? Mira asked. It said, the second chain is unlocked, he replied. Does that mean there's more power coming? Jocks asked. I think so, Rin nodded. And we're going to need it. As they returned to the Wayfarer 9, Rin kept glancing at the weapon band. He could feel it changing, growing. Back on the bridge, Mira checked the news feeds. They know. She said, the council knows you fired a mage weapon. A signal was detected across 3 systems. They'll come for us now, Jock said. They already are, Mira added. A shadow fleet was spotted near the Zoran Drift. That's only 2 jumps away. Rin clenched his fists. Then we don't wait. You want to strike first? Jax asked. No, Rin said. I want to show the galaxy the truth. That the mages are back. That humanity was never weak. And the council? Mira asked. They want to erase us. But they're too late. The first weapon has fired, Rin said, standing tall. Now the galaxy will remember who we are. Far across space, inside the deep vaults of the Galactic Council, alarms rang. The speaker stared at the screen. A map of stars pulsed red. He has activated the Forge Gauntlet, one general said. Just like the old days. Then he must be destroyed, the speaker said coldly. Before the others awaken. But if more mages rise, there will be no more, the speaker snapped. We will burn every bloodline if we have to. Rin looked out the ship's window. Stars stretched forever. We're not running anymore, he said. What's next? Jax asked. We go to Earth, Rin replied. We show them the truth. We awaken the rest. And then. Mira whispered, we take back what was stolen. The silence in deep space was heavy, almost like a warning. Wayfarer 9 drifted quietly near the asteroid belt of Sector 17Z. Its lights dim, its engines cooled down. The crew wasn't resting. They were waiting. Rin stood on the command deck, eyes locked on the star map. 3 blinking red dots showed incoming council ships, fast, armed, deadly. They're tracking us, Mira said, fingers dancing across her console. Cloaking failed after the last jump. They've locked onto our heat trail. Jax leaned back in his seat, arms crossed. So it begins. The council's elite hunters. Coming for a guy with a glowing bracelet. Rin looked at his arm. The mage weapon, the Forge Gauntlet, had changed. Now it glowed brighter and sometimes whispered strange thoughts into his mind. He didn't fully understand it, but one thing was clear: it was waking up. They don't fear me, Rin said. They fear what I might become. They should. Mira whispered. Jax shook his head. Doesn't matter what they fear. They'll still fire first. We need a plan. Mira nodded. I'm working on it. There's a mining station in the Vale Nebula, old, abandoned, full of dark corners and thick fog. We can hide there. Maybe even find supplies. We don't hide, Rin said. We draw them in. We make them see we're not afraid. Jax raised an eyebrow. You want to fight? I want them to know the hunt goes both ways. The council ship Razor Talon sped through space like a blade. Inside, Admiral Sierra paced the deck, her eyes cold, her voice sharper than steel. Lock all scanners on the human vessel, she ordered. No mistakes. The Forge Gauntlet is active, and if the old tales are true, it can destroy an entire fleet. Her second in command, a tall alien with silver skin, spoke softly. Are you certain it's the original gauntlet? Sierra nodded. There are only 3 left in the galaxy. And this one chose a human. That is a threat. Permission to speak freely? The alien asked. Granted. Why not let him awaken the others? Then we destroy them all together. Sierra's eyes narrowed. Because we tried. That once, and it nearly destroyed the council. Back on Wayfarer 9, the team reached the edge of the Veil Nebula. Thick clouds of gas and dust swallowed their ship as they entered. It's like flying blind, Jax muttered. That's the point, Myra said. They'll have trouble locking weapons in here. Rin remained quiet. His mind was busy images and thoughts flowed through him like a storm. The gauntlet was showing him things again, ruins, fights, a tower of glass on a burning world. Ah! Name whispered over and over, Ayla Ring. Suddenly the gauntlet pulsed. They're here, Rin said. Before Mira could scan, the enemy appeared, black shapes breaking through the clouds. Fast, agile fighters. And at the center, a destroyer-class warship with the Council's mark glowing red. Shields up. Mira shouted, too late. Jax barked. A laser beam cut across the nebula, grazing their hull. Sparks flew. Alarms screamed. Rin closed his eyes. The gauntlet answered his call. A blue shield spread across their ship's surface thin, glowing. A live dot. The next shot hit and bounced off. They're confused, Mira said, smiling. Council weapons don't know what to do with mage tech. They'll adjust, Jax said. They always do, Rin stood. Then we move now. He raised his arm, aimed it at the enemy fighters, and focused. A pulse of energy flew out like lightning, striking one of the ships. It exploded in silence, torn apart from the inside. Another blast followed 2 more ships down. They're breaking formation. Mira yelled, but the destroyer didn't stop. It charged forward, cannons glowing dots. Suddenly, a new signal appeared. Unknown ship just warped in. Mira said. A sleek vessel with black sails and a strange curved hull glided out of the mist. It didn't belong to the Council. Its markings were ancient tech mage symbols long lost to history. Jax stared. Who the hell is that? A voice crackled on the comms. Rin of Earth, heir of the Gauntlet, you are not alone. The crew froze. The voice continued. We are the Watchers. We've waited a long time for your return. The black ship fired. A golden beam. It hit the Council destroyer directly, melting part of its armor. The Razor Talon spun to retreat. Syra's voice screamed through Council channels. Fall back! Fall! The signal cut off. Then the black ship turned and vanished. Into the fog, just as quickly as it came. Mira sat back, stunned. That was real? Rin nodded. The Gauntlet called them. Jax let out a low whistle. Guess the hunt isn't just on us anymore. No, Rin said. Now we hunt back. In the ruins of an old Council station on the edge of known space, a secret meeting took place. High commanders, old and proud, watched the recording of the battle. The Forge Gauntlet is active. The Watchers have returned. The mage bloodline still lives. They were silent for a moment. Then one of them spoke. Activate Protocol Black Sky. The others nodded grimly. Across the galaxy, dark ships awakened. Programs long hidden began to run. And far beneath the surface of Earth, something stirred. The real war was just beginning. The air inside Wayfarer 9 felt thick like it held its breath, waiting for something. Rin stood near the main console, his hand resting on the glowing forge gauntlet. It had changed again. More lines, more light, more power. I had a dream. Rin said quietly. Mira turned from her screen. Another vision? Not just a vision, he said. A memory, a city in the clouds. Filled with people like me, mages. We weren't hiding. We were teaching, protecting, creating things. Jax leaned against the wall, arms crossed. But that city's long gone, isn't it? Maybe not, Rin said. The Watchers called it Aloran. I saw it floating above an ocean of stars. If it still exists, the answers are there. Mira tapped on the console. There's an old jump gate not far, abandoned by the council. Its last destination logged was ... Aloran. Jax let out a low whistle. We're seriously doing this? Walking into a lost mage city? Probably full of traps, ancient ghosts, or worse? Rin smiled. Yes. The jump gate was huge and broken, hanging in space like a shattered ring. But when Rin's ship approached, the gauntlet flared. The gate lit up. Its systems came, alive after centuries of sleep. The ring turned. The center glowed ... and the ship moved through it. The stars twisted. Space folded. For a moment, nothing existed. Then, Wayfarer 9 emerged on the other side. Everyone on the ship stared. Floating. In front of them was a massive city in the sky-white towers, glowing paths and gardens hanging in space. Aloran, untouched by time. It's real. Mira whispered. It's beautiful, Jax added. The ship landed on a wide platform. As the engines powered down, something strange happened. The gauntlet disconnected itself from Rin's arm, hovered in the air, then floated toward the center of the platform. What's it doing? Mira asked, stepping back. Rin followed it. The floor responded. Patterns lit up beneath his feet. A voice echoed through the city. Heir of the line, the last chosen, you have returned. A group of figures appeared from the mist. Men and women, tall and calm, wore long robes with silver patterns. They didn't walk, they glided. Who are they? Jax whispered. Ryn stepped forward. The mages. The leader, an old woman with silver eyes, smiled. I am Eleni, first of the 13. We are the ones who left, and the ones who watched. You were hiding all this time? Mira asked. Waiting, Eleni said. Until the world remembered us. Until one of our blood found the gauntlet. Until he returned. Jax narrowed his eyes. So what now? You teach Rin to be a god or something? Eleni turned to Rin. No, we remind him what it means to be human, and why the council feared that more than anything. Rin frowned. The council, they knew about this place, didn't they? They tried to destroy it, Eleni said. Failed, then lied to the galaxy. Said we were myths, dangerous, but now the truth rises. A second group arrived, council hunters, led by Admiral Syra. They landed on a nearby platform, armed and ready. You cannot stop the truth with weapons, Eleni said. Syra's voice echoed. We don't need to stop the truth, we just need to stop him. Troops rushed forward. Rin raised his hand. The gauntlet flew back to him, and something new happened. 13 other gauntlets appeared in the sky, one for each mage. The mages raised their hands. Light exploded across the city. The soldiers stopped, shields melting, weapons turning to dust. Syra screamed, retreat. But it was too late. The battle ended in minutes. Later, standing in the center of the ancient Hall of Stars, Rin listened to the last words of Eleni. You are not just a weapon. You are a bridge, she said, between the old and the new, between the lost truth and the future. But I don't know how to lead, Rin said. You don't need to know. You only need to try. Mira stepped beside him. We'll try with you, Jax nodded. You're not alone anymore. Above them, The sky of Ailerin turned gold as the city awakened that the truth was no longer hidden. The mages had returned, and with them, the galaxy would never be the same again. *The End.